Today marks the 76th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau. It is a day marked around the world as International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
For thousands of Toronto students, it was also a day to learn about the past, and in some cases, their connection to it through a new animated film. CTV's Scott Lightfoot explains.
The Nazis forced the little boy, his Zadie and father, out of their home.
It is a true story told through animation, a way of bringing the horrors of the Holocaust to an audience born generations after it occurred.
I know that there was the Nazis who took Jews to concentration camps and killed a lot of them.
12-year-old Shane Atlin is one of thousands of students in the Toronto District School Board from grades 4 through 8 who watched the new film The Tattooed Torah today to mark International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
I think that it's good for people to be educated about stuff like this because they should know what people went through.
For Atlin, there is a personal connection to the movie and the day. Her great-grandparents were both survivors of the Holocaust. Her grandmother, like the Torah in the film, bore a tattoo.
She would always purposely wear short sleeve shirts so that they and everyone really could see that she was a Holocaust survivor. It was something she was proud in a sense that, and something she didn't want to ever forget.
Atlin's mom says she feels it's important for her daughter and other young people to never forget the past.
Our children aren't going to grow up with real life individuals telling the story. So we need to make sure that we document this, whether it's by books or movies, and allow it to not be forgotten.
Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
And the gravity of what this day represents is being felt around the world and here at home.
Today we honor the memories of the victims and survivors of the Holocaust. We pledge to tell their stories so that the horrors of the Holocaust could never happen again.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford also paid tribute today, releasing a statement that reads in part, "We keep alive the memories of those lost, and we celebrate the great strength and resilience of the survivors in the face of unspeakable acts of cruelty and violence. I encourage all Ontarians to take time to listen to the stories of survivors, learn from them, and grieve with those who lost loved ones in this terrible tragedy." And Toronto's mayor echoing the message, "Never again."
These horrific acts represented one of history's most searing examples of hatred, discrimination, inhumanity, genocide. It was evil, and it is incumbent upon us to continue to condemn such evil so that it never takes root again.
John Tory says the Toronto sign will be dimmed in honor of International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and the CN Tower will also be lit tonight in tribute.
In Washington, Joe Biden declared this Climate Day at the White House, signing several executive actions.
We can't wait any longer. We see it with our own eyes, we feel it, we know it in our bones.
Initiatives inked by the U.S. president are intended to work climate change into nearly every level of the government. Biden wants to see the elimination of fossil fuel subsidies and a halt to new oil and gas leases on public lands.
2 astronauts had a spot of trouble today while trying to do some home improvements 400 kilometers above the Earth. They were outside the International Space Station's European lab for about 6 hours. The astronauts were installing a high-speed data link, but it took a few tries because of some cable problems. They'll be back out there on Monday to complete battery upgrades to the station's solar power grid. Back here on Earth, and the plans to radically transform a section of Toronto's